And some of the investments, I think you were telling us about them before. So what are some, so this is the big world of MP3s now and Scour and Napster, and so what are some of the investments that Michael and Links Technology Group make? So
we make an investment, it's right as I'm arriving, we're investing in Scour.net, which was basically a competitor to Napster, very, very big, although it also permitted for you to download movies and TV shows and not just music. So this is like a ticking time bomb that goes off about 8 months later as we get sued for $250 billion, which was intense. $250 billion is a very large lawsuit. Everybody's very upset about this. And the internet's very scary, you know, and this is really, as if you keep watching this, the dot-com crash happens probably a year and a half after I arrive to AMG. So it's like lawsuits and uncertainty and all these other things and instability and basically this new platform, the internet, which is supposed to reshape and reconfigure media, but in fact, it just isn't going to be that simple. You know, media companies disagree.
And so, what ends up happening with you and the Ovitz world?
So I end up staying there for about 2 years. We saw, I think it was a few hundred companies came in, and it was amazing because I would point at a company, the CEO would come in, the management team would come in, afterwards we'd see financial statements, I'd have access to Michael's MBAs and lawyers, and they'd explain everything to me. And that was the best part of that experience for me, because I didn't go to school, I hadn't gone to college, I hardly finished, I mean I finished high school, but you know, and so it was kind of my education. It was an incredible thing because I got to pick the companies and then I got to look inside the hood, so my enthusiasm for the material was extremely high, and I vacuumed all that up. And then I was kind of, in my mind, I was ready to take a few minutes off, and I went to Greece for a couple months, and then I came back to one of the most daunting kind of financial circumstances I'd ever encountered, because none of these investments really had panned out. Everything, the dot-com crash happened, I was wrapped up in that, and you know, I literally, you're looking, I'm 21 now, or 20, 19, 20, yeah, and I have about $10,000 in the bank. I have no stock in anything, really, and it's really like, for the first time ever, just blank, and everything is very uncertain and very insecure.
Yeah, because you had equity in the Ovitz endeavor, but that was folding. And
right, D-Music survived. It got acquired for a small amount of money by a guy in Pennsylvania, and my first gig out immediately afterwards was to sort of help him with the property a bit, and that kind of gave me some income. But I'd never had a job, right, and I'd never worked at anything for anyone, and I was very uncertain about that notion. It was just really discomforting to me. And because I didn't have a degree, and because they tell you that, you know, if you don't have these things that it's going to be very hard to get a job or do whatever, that world was really scary. So I needed to stay in my world because that was getting overwhelming. I start looking at okay, cool, yeah. I start looking at you know, schools. I start filling out. I think I turned that off. No? I'm not very good with this. Oh, I think I turned it back on. Okay. I start looking at schools, and I've got my applications that I'm filling out. But I've started with a few of the same friends from D-Music. We've started DeviantArt,